This video was brought to you by the Brave browser, available on Windows, Mac, Linux, and mobile, that allows you to block harmful ads on websites that track your data, browse the web securely through the Tor network, and support your favorite creators with Basic Attention Token, their own in-house cryptocurrency. Use the link in the description below, sign up for your own Brave account, and start taking back control of your data, and support me in the process. Thank you so much, and enjoy the video. Hey there, welcome back to The Wandering Wind. Today I want to talk about something that you might not have thought about before, but what is in store for us in the 2020s? Now, that's something that a lot of people are like, we can't know, but, you know, I think there are some really good ideas and some really good correlations that we can draw between the 2020s and the 1920s, or the Roaring 20s. So let's speculate a bit on what might happen in this next decade. Coming at you right next. So the Roaring 20s were mainly a decade marked by innovation in things like culture as well as in industry. The 20s were mainly a decade that focused around new technologies and new industries making their headway into the American market. Things like city infrastructure for power and water was a game changer for not only just the general health, but also the quality of life for many American households in the 20s. A lot of people didn't have running water before then, and now they had clean, fresh water in their own homes that was safe to drink. We also had a lot of different speculative markets start up. We had the stock market starting to boom, although I'll talk to you about why it failed in the end in just a minute. We also had the advent of the prohibition and speakeasies and the cultural movements of the day. And I see a lot of that trying to come back in the way that the 2020s are going. In the 2020s, we have this global market of new industry through the internet now. We don't just have markets in physical stuff now. We have Amazon, we have Google, we have streaming services up the wazoo. I tell you what, if I knew every streaming service out there, I still wouldn't be able to name them all. We have new products coming out every day. We have multiple different streaming services and music services, game streaming even nowadays. We have stuff like, the failed Google Stadia, and we had stuff like Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that. But we also have many new industries that are just getting their start in 2020. We have the AI industry. We have technologies that are just now emerging. We also have the advent of things like the blockchain. We have Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and all these other coins that are worth actual money. And so this is where it kind of gets into the correlation between the 2020s and the 1920s and the great stock market crash of the 20s. You see, during the 1920s, there were a lot of different people wanting to invest in the stock market, and companies were investing like mad. However, they were taking out lines of credit from banks and using that to invest in speculative markets like the housing industry or the housing market and the stock market, which are both highly volatile and highly susceptible to outside influence causing any kind of major upheaval. And unfortunately, that's what ended up happening with the stock market crash of 29, is that when the stock market bottomed out, it wasn't just that caused the Great Depression, but it was also massive poverty because of a lot of people ending up being fired from their jobs. And this was mainly because of not only bad business, but also bad politics. Because I think it was Hoover, I'm not sure, I think it was Hoover at the time, was not willing to drop the gold standard for the American dollar. A lot of other countries were willing to drop the gold standard for other methods of being able to secure funds, because at the time the gold standard wasn't affordable and it wasn't practical for the market in an international setting. Now, with America actually holding to the gold standard despite every other country not wanting to, this devalued not only American currency, but the global market as a whole, even if only by a few points. And with a few points, you can drastically affect the rest of the world. There were a lot of countries that refused to deal with America because of this issue. And so because of that, there were a lot of layoffs and a lot of unemployment. And it was just really, really, really bad for the country at that point, and really frustrating for a lot of people. This led to investors not really being able to continue doing their work. This led to many people losing their homes, their jobs, their possessions. It was a bad time. And so what I see here between the 1920s and the 2020s is a new speculative market with the blockchain, with Bitcoin and Ethereum and other. I mean, yes, I feel like there might be a more stable correlation now between the cryptocurrency market versus the stock market of the time, but there is still a heck of a lot of problems with this. I read a story the other day about how students are actually taking out student loans and putting them into cryptocurrency. First of all, that's illegal because you're not allowed to use your student loan money for anything other than your student payments, your schooling and your equipment and all that other stuff. If you're using it for investing in Bitcoin or whatever, not only are you liable to lose money, but you're also liable to be sued because of that. So, because you're not allowed to use that for your own capital gain, that is for a specific purpose that the government has entrusted the money to you for. I feel like the way that we do student loans should be changed, where instead of actually having the money given to the student, it should actually be given to the university directly, because that way at least the student's not going to screw it up. But I digress. Anyway, there are a lot of different reasons why I think the 20s might be good. Like I said, innovation and technology. We're developing AI, we're developing new technologies and new programs and new software that will drastically increase productivity and everything else. We're also drastically moving towards safer infrastructure for, say, transportation with the advent of the autonomous vehicle. I mean, just like how in the 20s, Henry Ford introduced the affordable automobile, in the 2020s, we're seeing possibly affordable autonomous vehicles for the home. Just, who knows? I mean, who knows what might happen in the next decade? And that's really what it all boils down to. It's not that I know anything or that you know anything. It's that there are hallmarks that are present in the last corresponding decade, and then hallmarks in this decade that are starting, that we can really draw lines and parallels to and say, well, because it happened then, it might happen now. Not saying it will. Please don't let it happen. But there are possibilities with that. So really, in the end, it's all a speculator's game. It's all really a game of guessing and hoping and wishing and praying that it doesn't happen the way that we think it will. But eventually, we just have to say what happens will happen and what doesn't happen won't happen. And beyond all that, it's really just anyone's game. Don't let this speculation about what might happen as far as the bad stuff keep you from doing your best to make this decade the best one of your life. Because frankly, doing anything besides that really ruins the whole point of life, in my opinion. So just do what it is that you love to do. and forget about worrying about the rest, because right now we've still got another 10 years. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, I'll catch you on the breeze. Thanks for watching.